Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. In this series of videos we are going to take a look into what is coming your way for the end of 2023. You can watch this video anytime from the release date to the very end of the year. There will be a total of 12 videos, one for each zodiac sign. I suggest that you watch for your rising, sun, and moon sign. Keep in mind that the messages I receive in these readings are general, so apply them accordingly to your life. All of my readings are audio recorded, and photos of the spread will appear on the screen as we progress through the reading. The format for the readings will go as follows. I will start each reading by taking a look at the current energies that you may be experiencing at the time you are watching this video. Next, I'll take a look at what is coming your way for the end of the year and what you could expect to occur during these last few months. After that, we'll get some advice from your spirit guides and see what they would like for you to know going into 2024. Then I'll pull an oracle card that will tie together the reading for you. The oracle will basically highlight the overall outcome of the year. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. Blessings, Aries, and welcome to your year-end tarot reading. This is good for rising sun and moon placements in the tropical sign of Aries. However, if you identify mostly with Sidereal, you could apply the Sidereal sign of Aries to this as well, although my focus will be on tropical placements. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to be reading from the Golden Art Nouveau tarot deck for you guys. And we are going to start by taking a look at the current energies. And these energies apply to at the time you are watching this video. And depending on your placement will depend on how these energies actually play out. So if this is your moon sign, this may be more internal. If this is your sun sign, then this may be more apparent. It will be based on what is happening externally and how you present yourself. And then if this is your rising sign, then this will be like the guiding force. It's like the person in the driver's seat. So I'm going to shuffle and we're gonna take a look at the current energies. Okay, so we got the Three of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So this is a pretty powerful message here. You guys are really, really busy and you're currently in the middle of a cycle is what I'm getting. If anything, you're just in the middle of a project, of a goal. It's not exactly like the climax. You may not have hit like the middle mark of your goal exactly, or like the exactly like the climax. You haven't hit that part yet, but you are like, you're well on your way. You've definitely have made a lot of accomplishments. And you know, the climax of a story isn't typically in the middle. It's usually right before the end. So you are like in the middle of your path right now. You're in the middle of completing a project, a goal, something where you have an expected outcome. Some of you could even be pregnant. I do see like a lot of fertility here. There's a lot of sexual energy. Relationships is also on the table. So real quick, if people are single, I'd see you receiving a lot of offers, but you're not really that interested at the moment. I feel like for some of you, it's not really a choice. It's like you kind of don't have a choice, like, because you're so busy doing something else. You're so busy focusing on whatever this goal is, like whatever it is you're working on right now. This is like a highlight for you. Like, you don't even have time for social media. You don't even have time to go out. At least, like, that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, you may even feel like you don't have enough time for yourself. You may feel like, maybe you feel like you're missing out because you're so focused on whatever it is that is, for example, like, whatever this is that you're working on, there's a lot of, like, of yourself attached to it. So some of you could be artists, for example, or whatever it is that you're working on. It's like, it is like some kind of art for you. It's very personal, even if it has, like, I wouldn't say like nothing to do with you. So, but because it has everything to do with you. Like, maybe it's like if you're working for a company and there's a project you're working on, it's kind of like you don't really have a choice. Like, this is your job. So at the same time, it's still very personal. So there's like a lot of self-improvement. And that could also just be the other side of this. Like, maybe you're spending a lot more time with yourself. And so you're finding yourself a lot more alone. I feel like you've experienced a lot of like seclusion or self-isolation to the point where you're almost like overly enjoying your own company. And it's starting to make you feel a little low, like a little depressed even. So it would be a good sign to be mindful of that. Like, make sure that you aren't like falling into depression or loneliness, you know? Especially if it's like something that you can prevent, like it's not, because I understand like there's depression that you really can't like control. But if like you're just naturally don't find yourself in that state, I feel like you're slipping into that. And maybe even if you do have a history of depression, like you want to be mindful of that. You don't want to slip deeper into it. You want to like remind yourself that like your feelings and like whatever it is that would make you feel depressed, like it's very real, and it's true in the sense that it's real. Like, you feel it, so it's real. But at the same time, it's like you also want to be really, really mindful of your mindset and to recognize depression as something that's, you know, you could treat it as something spiritual in the sense that there's a deeper meaning behind your pain. You know, a lot of initiates have to go through excruciating pain, go through really, really deep shadow work in order to unlock like deeper connection with themselves. So depression is like an opportunity to tap in more with yourself and ask yourself deep questions and to confront your fears and all that kind of stuff. So either way, I do feel that you guys are heading in the right direction. I do feel like you guys are being a bit too stubborn, or you're just, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like very heavy. I want you guys to be careful of playing victim or being the victim or even feeling victimized, because I feel like there's so much going on within you at this time. And we do have the North Node in Aries, so it's like it's only natural. We just had an eclipse at the time that I'm recording this. You know, the eclipse in October, the solar eclipse. So like you guys are really feeling it. And you may have had things that have come up since the eclipse that have been pretty heavy for you to carry. A lot of you don't want to face it. And it's interesting because on the Four of Cups, with the imagery, there's a cup being offered to the man sitting under the tree. And then this card is being followed by the Ace of Cups. There's so much opportunity here. You don't want to miss out. So that was another thing I was picking up. Like, I feel like you're missing out on something. You're definitely not seeing the bigger picture. You might be really focused. You're too focused on the wrong things right now. or it's more like, but I'm receiving this message more like as a warning, because for some of you this may not even be the case. You are aware of this kind of behavior, this kind of like psychology, and you're trying to avoid it, but at the same time, like, subconsciously you still might be rejecting something. It's hard. Sometimes it is hard to see the truth. But there's so much opportunity in this. You still want to keep with this Three of Wands, this project, this goal, whatever it is that you're in the middle working on. You still want to keep at that. But at the same time, you want to open yourself up to something. So for some of you too, maybe you've been so busy and so closed off that now is the time to open up to another opportunity or a new opportunity, but to not let it be discouraging. There could also just been, if it's not like an opportunity, there could just be some kind of like, I'm getting like a detour, like a pause, or just, you know, things happen in life, things just come up in life, and sometimes we have to put something to the side to work on that. And then once we work on that, we can go back to what we were working on originally. So yeah, that could be like another thing here. There could just be a detour. So if you're not feeling like the depression or the lowness or anything like that, maybe there's just like a detour and you're just like kind of bummed out about it. Like, it can be that like you're second guessing yourself, and the Ace of Cups doesn't want you to second guess yourself. So whatever it is for you, however this is playing out for you, this is a new opportunity to improve your situation. Whatever it is that's coming in, or that is trying to come in, that's trying to get your attention, but you don't want to look at it, you don't want to deal with it, or you're dealing with it, but you're still very resistant. Like, there's no need for that, because there's actually a way more positive outcome than you're going to expect. And I'm really drawn to the checkered pattern on the Three of Wands. I'm not like really getting anything really, but that might mean something. I don't know. I'm just really drawn to that imagery. It does remind me of like a flag, or like a coat of arms, or something like a symbol, a status. So that might mean something for somebody. Okay. Again, with the Ace of Cups, currently this is like, I'm getting like renewal and purity. Again, going back to like fertility, there could be opportunity for fertility. If so, for those of you who are trying to conceive, there may be good news on the way, or even within the family, there's some kind of good news on the way that does have a lot to do with like anything related to fertility, to something brand new, like a new opportunity as well, a birth of some sort. It does come with challenges, but it's going to be very, very rewarding and very freeing, very liberating. Okay, so that's what I got for the current energies. Let's go ahead and we're going to look at what you could expect now for the rest of the year. And you can watch this video anytime from its release to the end of the year. And so this is just what's going to come up for you. Okay, so what you could expect for the end of 2023. We have the 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Tower. So it's really interesting because the first card that came out, I didn't see what it was. It was turned over. And then the second card that came out, I saw that one that flipped forward facing me. And, you know, it's the 3 of Swords. And so immediately this is like a loss or a disappointment. I got some kind of setback. And then I flipped over the first card and saw it was the 10 of Pentacles. And I thought, okay, some kind of financial setback then, some kind of financial loss or burden. And I'm starting to feel like somebody's like not getting something. Like you could be expecting some money to come in and it's not going to happen. For example, let's say you're applying for some kind of loan and I'm getting that you're not going to get it. And I don't want to be too discouraging here. I'm definitely not going to focus on any kind of like negative energy, but I'm just, I'm not sugarcoating. This is what I'm getting. And so that message again could just be very specific to like one person. So I also don't want to instill fear, even if it is for that one person. I don't want to put any fear into them. Because as the cards proceeded, we got the Queen of Wands and the Tower. So the Tower comes in and it's going to rid things of your life that are no longer working for you. At the same time, I kind of feel like you're going to expect it. Like it's almost like you're going to get some foresight into when this will occur. At the same time, with the 10 of Pentacles, on the bright side, on the more positive side, I still feel like you're going to, like you have a lot you can fall back on. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like money or resources. You still have this really, really strong foundation. You still have this project that you're working on that you're literally like in the middle of it. You're halfway there. You're halfway there to complete this goal. And we did get the Ace of Cups to remind you that it's going to work out in the end. Like for real. I still feel like, again, like you're going to have enough to fall back on. But there is going to be some loss coming in. The loss could be financial, but it could also be relationships. It could be, I would even say things just coming to an end. Jobs, contracts, karmic cycles, karmic relationships, things like that. I'm hearing you're going to have to lose more than you bargained for. But a positive takeaway is that we have the Tower. So it's like whatever it is that you're losing or having to get rid of, or whatever is just coming up that's just very uncomfortable, very, very challenging. It is so absolutely necessary because it's going to clear way for something better. And it really depends on one's own karma and how one perceives things on how you're going to get through this. So the 10 of Pentacles for me is like the card of reassurance. Even the Queen of Wands, which I'll get to in a minute. It's like there is a reassurance that no matter what, like everything's going to be totally okay. Everything is going to be okay. You'll have support. You'll have guidance. You'll have enough to fall back on. But again, it is going to be difficult. It's going to be painful for some of you. It's going to probably be really disappointing. And I think that's why with the 4 of Cups, I was like receiving like a warning. Because you don't want to slip into a mindset of like, this is the end, because this isn't the end. This is just like the challenging part of the story. This is like the plot twist, basically. There's a plot twist happening. But you still have something to accomplish here with the 3 of Wands. Like it's still a reminder that like you still have quite some time, some ways to go. I wouldn't say like a long way to go, but again, like this is like a detour. Like there's something that needs to clear away before you can proceed forward, before you can get to the climax of your story. So I want to see the positive in it. you know, again, I'm not gonna lie, it's challenging. It may not even be pretty. These last few months, the last few weeks, whenever you're watching this, it's gonna be challenging. But we do have the North Node in Aries, so this is like for you guys. And then we also have Chiron there too. Like, let's not forget that. Like you guys are really going to be going through it for quite some time. And it's like, I'm hearing kickoff. Like, this is the kickoff of that for some of you. So you may have your sun around the degree of the North Node or of Chiron, so around 20 degrees, give or take, you know, 5 degrees up, 5 degrees down, or maybe even 10 degrees up, 10 degrees down. Like, you guys are going to be affected for quite some time. But with the Queen of Wands, this is a positive sign, and I want to say a positive omen. I don't know if that's like too dramatic. We do have a black cat on the card, and so it can be a positive omen. I know black cats get the bad luck thing, but that's all just like demonization of witches and witchcraft and the occult and things like that. But, you know, black cats are, to me, I kind of relate them to like the symbol of the owl in a way. Maybe not as like all seeing as the owl, but in the sense that, you know, even owl symbolism gets a bad rep because they're tied to like Freemasons. And so they can get like, or even like goats can be like seen as like a bad thing, like a bad symbolism. But if anything, it's just tapping into the dark side of things, the dark energy, or even goddess energy, because the feminine energy rules over the dark, speaking in terms of like occultism. And the Queen of Wands does represent Aries. So it's reminding you to stay in your element. It's reminding you of your own power, of your own confidence, your own courage and strength. And she's holding a sunflower, and that's reminding me of the sun card. So Leo might be a sign that comes up for you, either in your own chart, or a Leo placement will come into your life, or will be of importance to you during the last few months of the year. I think by staying true to yourself and sticking to your plan, staying course, you know, staying on course, like not letting this Three of Swords energy defeat you, it's going to help you overcome the tower. It's going to help you overcome these difficulties. I feel like as long as you keep sticking to your plan, you keep your focus on your plan, these energies are going to be more subtle. Like, the events may still be dramatic, but like your reaction to them could still be very subtle. And I do feel that you are supported. If anything, you're going to be supported by family or people you see as family. I'm also relating this to like ancestral lineage. This could also be like a some kind of karmic cycle that happens generationally. So maybe, and I'm saying this too because of the North Node in Aries, like maybe there's something happening now that has happened before for your ancestors, and it is somewhat of like an initiation. It's challenging you, it's confronting you. There could be things from the past that confront you. Past actions, past mistakes, past trauma even. So there's a deeper clearing here. It could even be just the last 18 years. So what happened 18 years ago, this could be a clearing of that. I'm getting like there's a passage, there's like a right away or a right, like a R-I-T-E. It is like our birthright even. So that might resonate for somebody pretty deeply here. I'm noticing that there's a checkered print on the Queen of Wands here. She has it on her collar, on her V-neck collar. So yeah, like there's some kind of like a pattern, something repeating itself. And it can be ancestral. It could also be this life. I mean, it is a mix of both, of anything. I mean, because again, like if this is ancestral, generational, then this is a pattern that happens. So that's like something to keep in mind. If that really resonates with you, then I would like, that's like a positive way of looking at it. Like my ancestors have been through this before, and now it's my turn. I'm chosen to go through this in this life. Again, like that's really deep. So, you know, if it doesn't resonate, then you don't have to accept that message. So with the Three of Swords even, I mean, it does have a lot to do with relationships. So I'm getting like relationships of all kinds, of any kind, is on the chipping block. I feel like there's people that you're having to cut off because of their actions, because they do something really hurtful to you. And you're just in a place here at the end of this year where you're just like, you're willing to cut them off. It's like you don't even care anymore. I do get like Scorpio energy. I mean, Mars does rule Scorpio. As the time that I'm recording this, Mars is in Scorpio. So there could be a lot of evaluating of your friendships, of the people you associate yourself with, of relationships of any kind. There could just be some hard truths that come up about people, and you end up holding on anyways, even though it hurts you. I do feel there's a lot of evaluating, or there's opportunity for you these last 3 months of the year to evaluate this pain, this misfortune, this loss that does come up. Because the Queen of Wands, it's like the way she's looking, it's like the way she's facing the Three of Swords and the way she looks, it's like she goes through this pain and then she kind of like stops herself and pulls herself out of it for a moment and evaluates the situation. So that's something that could come up. There could be this loss and this pain at first, and then at some point something happens and you're given an opportunity to really evaluate yourself. It's almost like you pull yourself out of the Four of Cups energy finally. The whole like, I'm trying to think of the word. You know, there's denial here. There's like not seeing the big picture. There's like, you know it to be true, but you can't accept it. There's some kind of like lack of acceptance. And I feel like eventually you kind of like get yourself out of that. And it has a lot to do with this pain or this misfortune, like whatever it is that is difficult that comes up for you. Eventually it's like, it gives you power. It makes you realize that there's so much more than what's been given. And that's the beauty of the Ace of Cups that I was getting earlier. It's like, and I love that they came out for the current energies, because it was like, before we continue, don't forget, like something good is on the way. Something very freeing is on the way, like liberating. And the Tower is going to come in and liberate you. And because it comes after the Queen of Wands, I almost feel like it's like you want it to burn down, like you want it all to burn down. And I don't know if that's just very Aries of you, but like you overcome the struggle, you overcome this difficulty, and then you're more accepting of what's falling away. I feel like the Tower moment is slowly playing out here at the end of the year. And then it's going to get to a certain point where you realize something, you overcome something, whatever it is, where you kind of like get back up again. And then whatever is left, like whatever has yet to fall, like you're just you're more allowing and more accepting of it. And it's almost like you redirect your focus back onto what you were doing. Okay, so that's basically what I'm getting. I don't want to drag it out anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some more cards. We're going to look at what your spirit guides want you to know. So this is like advice or a message or a reminder. It could even be confirmation of something you already know and feel inside. Okay, so for advice from your spirit guides, we have the Three of Cups and the High Priestess. So your guides want you to enjoy yourself. They want you to get out more. They really want you to pull yourself out of this Four of Cups energy because of the Three of Swords energy that is very potentially coming up for you. It's like it's not like I'm not getting a distraction, because I know sometimes like the Three of Cups might be a bit of a distraction because you're too involved with enjoying yourself. So that could also just be a warning too, like don't distract yourself, don't go out and party, and don't overdrink, don't overdo it with whatever it is, don't overeat. But at the same time, like they want you to enjoy yourself, enjoy the fruits of your labor, find time to go out, find time to have fun. And then we have the High Priestess, so they really want you to know that you can trust your inner guidance, your inner intuition, and that they're totally here for you. And I almost feel like for some of you, especially if your moon sign is Aries, that they really want you to converse with them, your spirit guides. It's almost like they're anticipating your arrival. I'm also getting like they want you to know that you're not crazy. Like it's like the voices in your head, your intuition anyways, like you can believe it. Your gut feeling, you can believe it, you could trust it. It's almost like I feel like it's going to be so on point for you because of the North Node. It's like because you are being guided on purpose, like, and almost forcefully. Like this is a very karmic time for you guys. So like it's almost like your intuition is so accurate and so on point that it is almost hard to believe, but they want you to know like it's all totally real. And they want you to have fun with it. So for some of you, especially if you're on a very spiritual path, like they don't want you to freak out. They don't want you to get discouraged. They want you to have fun with it. Even when you do receive warnings. So some of you might be really tuned in with yourself that you get like little warning signs before something happens. Like if something difficult happens. So let's say you get some kind of like anxious feeling. Maybe you get butterflies. And then a week or two later, something happens. So they're saying like even if like you feel anxiety or anxious, even during like your really, really difficult days, like they still are encouraging you to do something that makes you feel good. Even if you could only do it for a couple minutes a day. Like even if you just, like the day was just so completely shot and it was really like out of your control, and like you, like let's just say work was super hectic and stressful and like there's no getting around it. They still want you to like find something in that at work, like something that did happen at work that was positive, or to go home and like do something very fulfilling, even if like you don't feel good, like because it's almost like okay, so like if people who have depression and they start working out, they start feeling really, really good about themselves. It's like that, like even if you don't want to do it and you do it and then you feel good afterwards. Like exercise, I find that to be true a lot of times. Like I don't want to work out, I'd rather just be lazy, and then I do work out and I feel like really great afterwards and my mood is uplifted. It's like that kind of energy. So maybe you do need to like work out in order to feel good, but it's like, do it anyways. Even if you're not feeling it, go out anyways. Okay, like that's the advice that they're giving you. And to really trust on your intuition and instinct, because we have the high priestess. You are being divinely guided, and you really have to trust your own inner guidance. And to know that everything, all the answers are literally inside of you. Like, you can go out there and look for answers all you want, and yeah, you'll get them, but the best answer is the one within, because that is the most truest to you and your life and the way you feel and the things you believe and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's the advice from your spirit guides. I'm gonna go ahead and pull an oracle card from the Urban Crow Oracle, and this card is basically gonna tie things up for you. It's kind of gonna summarize the entire reading, and as well as give you a message. And the oracle card we got for you guys is number 3, Anticipation. And I'll put it up on the screen now with a photo of the book, and I'll read what the book says for you guys. Hold on, trying to find it. Okay. Number 3, Anticipation. Each morning when I wake up, there is a crow outside my window on the street lamp, anticipating the arrival of a meal. Perhaps I trained the crow, or maybe it was the other way around. When there is a pattern, we begin to expect a particular outcome. Anticipation brings hope and butterflies in the belly as we expect something to happen that brings joy or satisfaction. There is but one warning. Be careful of any attachments held for the desired outcome. If what you receive falls short of expectations, the feeling of joy can transform into disappointment. What are you looking forward to at this moment? How will you adjust if your expectations are not met? Wow, like, this description had 3 words I've said throughout this reading, and that was pattern, butterflies, or like anxiety. And what was the other? I don't know, but I guess there is but one warning. Oh yeah, that was the word, warning. My goodness. So that's pretty crazy. So they definitely don't want you to, I know, like, for this reading, this is like what to expect. They don't want you to expect an outcome. So, like, perhaps you could expect these things to come up, everything I've said in this reading, to in some way, shape, or form, but they don't want you to think of any kind of like outcome. And it's almost like you're not supposed to know. So there's that whole thing of like, if you are like religious or very spiritual and you're asking God for help or guidance or like an answer and you don't get a response, there's like a deeper meaning behind that. There's a reason why you don't know what's to come. There's a reason why God doesn't want you, the source, creator, the divine. There's a reason why they don't want you to know what the outcome is, because it's almost like it ruins the surprise. And then there's also other aspects of like, if you knew, would you still do it? Or if you knew, would you become complacent? Like, would you even try to go for it? It's almost like how they say, don't announce your goals out loud or to other people, because it does something to your brain. Like, it releases a chemical that's just as rewarding as the act itself. And it is far more rewarding to say, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, instead of actually doing it. I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but basically, like, that's the energy I'm getting. Like, yeah, now I've kind of like lost my train of thought. So let's just go ahead and end it there. I think the message got out. I also have a channeled song for you guys. And the song I was thinking about before this reading is Kendrick Lamar, XXX. I left a link for it in the description, so you can go check it out if you've never heard the song before. Channeled songs are another way of receiving a channeled message, because music is just incredibly powerful. That's like a whole video for another time, but there you go. Go ahead and check out that song if you're interested. Okay, and so that wraps up your reading for the end of the year for Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it resonated. If you haven't yet already, please hit the subscribe button, tap the notifications bell, and like this video. By liking this video, you help to push it into the YouTube algorithm for other people to find. Follow my profile on Instagram at Spotless Mind Tarot. Replace the I in mind with the number 1. If you would like to book a private reading with me, my readings are available on my Etsy shop, kaleidoscopeescape.etsy.com. Also, do me a huge favor and drop a comment on this video and let me know if this reading resonates for you. It also lets me know that you are here with me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very grateful for your presence, and I will catch you in the next